Gregore, good afternoon. Happy Wednesday. Yes, the season when you finally can make scrambled eggs in the morning is now. Till February the 4th. And then really the spring comes. I cannot wait. Will the spring be warm? That is the question. So third part of the great cold is here. Oh, people are doing barbecues today. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 brave souls. Apparently no eggs in the winter. I don't know, I never kept chickens. But when it gets really cold, maybe that's how it is. Or was. Beautiful sunny day today. Calm, no wind. It's perfect winter. Mornings are a little brutal because it's so cold. But later it's so nice. Actually, the evening is nice because the humidity is so low, you can dry your laundry outside. And I don't think it's quite possible in the summer. Summer, if there's no sun, it's so humid. The moisture comes back into your drying clothing. Crispy winter is the best. No, that's Canada. Canada is over the limit, I think. It's just cold, There's no insulation. It's cold outside, it's cold inside. And in general, you feel colder. Unfortunately. Oh, people are enjoying plums. Plum appreciation has started. But here, they're sitting on a blanket, picnicking. They're taking photos. Looks very nice. Not all the trees are blooming yet. Oh, that tree is the best. It's the first one that blooms 100%. Almost. Oh. This guy is making photos, I think. This guy too. So there will be a lot of photographers. Yeah, you can see. That is some old one. Old style. It has nice smell though. Nice smell here. Oh, they do, yeah. Yeah. Telephoto lens, you know. Some of them like cost $8,000. It's amazing. Someone has a hobby and they spent a lot of money. Oh, I hear buzzing, I think. Oh, bees are here. Bees are working. There's a bee here. Many bees, I think. Maybe it's warm enough now for them to fly. This is, I think, film. Wow. You know, you can still buy the ingredients for developing films in the electronics store. Oh, selling? Usually people do it for fun, you know, and then they have like some private exhibition at the park center. They bring all these photos framed. But, you know, if you're a famous photographer, I'm sure you have to sell it. You have to be an artist to do that. I think it's a tough work. Not easy. You probably cannot get much money if you are not famous. But you know, Japan has lots of equipment for photography. Canon, Nikon. They make cameras, they make lens. It's a paradise. You can buy any type of camera you like, or quality of lens. It's all, you know, how much money you have. It all depends on that. You can spend even $20,000. Or you can do like that guy with the vintage camera from 100 years ago. It's a film camera, you know, with those big cartridges. Like, probably not, maybe 100 years. Yeah, the big lenses are crazy. I mean, depends on the quality, right? You can get a cheaper one for maybe $400, $500. But if you want a really expensive one, that's, you know, thousands and thousands. And they are really fancy. Not only they let a lot of light in, because that's what it counts. Also, the telephoto ones, they have stabilizers inside them. And you don't get these imperfections like artifacts, the aberration in the corners, or, you know, less light in the corners and more in the center. That's a typical of like a cheaper lens. And it's always, you know, you zoom in and the image is still crispy. If you do it with cheaper lens, you will notice right away. And of course, for these kind of lens, they have cameras. Now the SLRs, you know, are going away, and there are the mirrorless cameras. Those are, I think, much easier to to keep clean. The mirror ones, it's so much. If you get dust inside of them when you change lens, so it's so difficult to clean it and clean the mirror, and then you realize you have some dust on the sensor, CCD. Yeah, used is also fun. You know, Japan has lots of used item shops. They have tons of cameras in there. You can pick up camera from 15 years ago for like $100, which used to cost maybe 1,000, depending on the condition. But the best thing is that you can buy lens from different makers, like the Sigma, Tamron. But if you buy from Nikon, right, you can only use it with your Nikon camera. The good thing is that if you replace your camera for a better Nikon, then you can still use your lens. Rumored to be not as sharp as film. Oh no, it's by now, the CCD. There's just so many megapixels. It's more than film, I think now. But what's constantly happening is the cameras. Sony actually releases really nice mirrorless camera. You can use it for filmmaking. I think the medium one is 4K, and it's kind of compact, really nice. You don't need to lift a lot. And the thing is that they only produce lens also by Sony. I don't think they have mounts for anything else. Maybe they do. But those cameras are so nice. Oh my gosh. Tiny, and they cost maybe $2,000 or more. If you want to make a movie, there's your camera. Oh, what are they doing here? Work, cutting the branches, I think. Securing the safety of people. If you go to electronics store in Japan, you can play with all the latest cameras that are on sale. Like right there, they have them out in the aisles, and you can open, close, press, power on, power off, check the menus, check it out with a lens. Everything can be tested without, asking anyone. You just go there and play with it. And you can always negotiate the final price to give you discount and stuff. And it's nice, They let you to play with super expensive stuff. You can get tired just going through these photographic sections of big electronics store. Oh, I think the biggest one is in Akihabara, Yodobashi Camera. They sell everything, of course, not just cameras. I think it's total of 11 floors. Each floor is gigantic. I think it's at least 200 meters long or somewhere around that. If you cover 11 floors, you are done for the day. It will take you so long. Yeah, too much for casual hobby. Yeah. I mean, you don't need to buy expensive camera for casual hobby. They have so many, camera with different ranges. You don't need to have, movie making camera to enjoy. You can just buy something way affordable, cheaper, and enjoy it, and then have it for many years. And then maybe if you really like it, you can move to another kind that's better, more fun, has more power. The CCD sensors can capture more light without causing noise. I must say that 20 years ago, the Nikon SLR, digital SLR, cannot even compare to what they make now. I mean, the CCDs are just, it's like future generation times 100. They make even better photos without much noise. And of course, everything depends on your lens. The bigger the lens, the more expensive and well made, then you can get crystal clear photos. And if you are really into printing your own stuff, Canon sells ink printers and ink paper for printing the photos. They're working there. But I have to say that you will not notice that it was printed on an ink printer. It's so supreme. The quality is way higher than if you go to professional photographer and have this, album done or printed. It's, every color is calibrated to the paper they sell. So that the color will be reproduced precisely. You buy, I think these printers, I haven't checked, but a long time ago, the printer had maybe 10 or 8 ink cartridges. And these things were like more expensive than gold. But the photos that came out, wow. And not only that, normal ink cheap printer, the photos will start fading. That stuff never faded. It was like, wow. It was so solidly printed. So they used to have lots of these printers. I think you can go even bigger than A3 if you wanna print posters. And of course, then smartphones came and that kind of hobby disappeared because it's easier to carry a little phone and take photos with it. But the lens in the phone is such a low quality, you cannot really take pictures that are, it will never be the same as a picture taken through the big lens. Another big lens, on a special camera. But for some people it's good enough. There are also lots of YouTubing people who have, movie cameras. They mount them on tripods or sticks or monopods, and they go and make nature videos in 8K resolution. It's really cool to watch it on, in 4K or 8K TV. You can see like every single detail. It's absolutely amazing. Hello, friend. Hello, friend. Not afraid today so much. Yeah, the phone will never be good enough. The quality of the lens is really bad, and I mean, good for a normal person, but if you are into photography, you will see the artifacts in there and how the lens captures the image. You cannot get the same quality as having, huge lens of this size versus the one in the phone, which is like that. Basically, the bigger one gives you more light, sharper picture. And it looks way better. No chromatic aberrations. There's so many different artifacts that are caused by lens not being perfect. And even probably the most expensive lenses have some kind of imperfection in them. But probably you will never be able to tell if you are not into photography. Apple tries, no, yeah. Apple has like multiple cameras because they know they cannot do different zooms with one single lens in a little phone like that. It's, yeah. I'm sure there's probably some limit out there where you're gonna get some different lens composition, and maybe in 500 years we'll have a supreme lens quality in a phone. But then it will also be imperfect when compared to a bigger lens. It's just the amount of light that counts. But at some point you won't even notice this. It's only the hobby people who notice these things. This is why phones are so amazing, like just for a normal person. A normal person won't even be able to tell what's wrong with basic cheap photo. But I am impressed, if you look at the 4K, 8K video on 4K or 8K TV, it's stunning. It's also so much data, like it's an unimaginable amount of data. But it's true, like, you could see like the little pieces of grass in a normal video, like you would never be able to see that. It's like surreal almost. I think you have to have also good eyes. Having a TV and 8K TV and just looking with bad eyes, it doesn't matter. But the technology has progressed so much. Remember, there were cameras with only VGA resolution initially. And now, look at this. We have megapixels. Incredible. And plus, now that before you could only take photos on a digital camera, which was just made for photos. And then, they kept on adding to it, and they took advantage of the big lens in the SLR cameras. So you could actually record the video on them as well, not just taking photos. And that was a huge advantage because the bigger lens gave you way better video than as if you were, taking it through the little camcorder lens. I mean, back then, if you wanted to take really good video, you would need like a TV camera, probably $6,000-$7,000. These had very big lens, and quality was reasonable. But can you imagine if you can just buy SLR camera with a telephoto zoom lens, and you can make even better video with that for a cheap price? This is like the game changer. Of course, they also make more and better TV cameras too. But the hobby people who spend just $5,000 and they make some YouTube videos for 4K, 8K resolution, it's nice. We just go on a trip every week and film some, seasons, waterfalls, mountains, city, publish the video, they get money from it. Of course, it's a lot of data. Gosh, just to make short video, I mean, what is it? 8 minutes for 4K, that will give you compressed, that will give you 3-4 gigabytes. But just imagine if you have raw data. I don't know if they actually do raw data because it's so unpractical. You have to compress it in a way. I remember when there were the SLR cameras that came out with the digital type from Nikon. They allowed you to take pictures in JPEGs, and then they will allow you to take pictures in TIFFs for high quality. And then they also allowed you to take pictures in uncompressed RAW format. So you could fiddle with, adjust the exposure and other things that otherwise, once the photo is done on a JPEG, you cannot adjust exposures anymore because you don't have the data in that file anymore. But the raw data is so much more that you can do and edit. And that was also a big advantage. People would be shooting in this raw format, and then they would be perfecting the photo in the lab. Oh, nice smell from these ones again. So, but if the raw format is so big, you're probably gonna have so much data, you will need an expensive computer to handle that. And it becomes impractical over time. You might just as well compress your videos and use compressed formats, MPEG. Then it's reasonable. I don't know what they do even for movies. They don't go crazy on that either, probably. It gives a big advantage if you want to release the same movie later in 16K resolution. If you filmed in that original 16K. Yeah, for casual use, it's an overkill. It's like riding Ferrari with golden rims made of pure gold. And then they also added lots of manipulation of the post-processing of the movies and photos, the high dynamic range, because the human eye, they can pick up dark shadows, and you can see what's in those shadows, and it also can pick up very bright objects and not have them too bright. Normal camera will either underexpose the shadows or overexpose the bright areas, and you have to settle for something in the middle. So taking photos in like with the shadows even here, it will be hi Gamma, welcome. Yeah, you would end up with just dark places. You wouldn't see what's in those shadows, or maybe here this would be too bright for the sun. But with high dynamic range, you're capturing the data that's in the shadows, and you're capturing the data that's in the bright spots. And then you can overlay it. It's like taking, you know, many pictures from lower exposure up to a highest exposure. That way you're capturing all these shadows, what's in the shadows with the high exposure, and with the low exposure you're capturing what's in the brighter areas. And now the cameras are doing it on the fly. Of course, you know, the data captured will be much bigger, probably depending how many, you know, how much data you capture. Imagine how much live stream, because even today, not many people are live streaming because they're actually live streaming on very cheap, you know, everything is compressed. Like, you know, this you see, there's like pixels everywhere on my scope here. But if I paid, you know, hundreds and hundreds of dollars, I could scope in 720p every day. But you know, that's so much data, it's unbelievable. I would have to go through gigabytes and gigabytes every month just to do it. But then it also depends how you're watching it. If you're watching it on a 4K TV, it's gonna look pretty bad. If you're watching it on a CRT TV from 40 years ago, it's gonna look supreme. So it all depends. Maybe someday we'll have some nice live streaming and the cellular data will be truly unlimited for what we pay, because there's always some limit. They say unlimited, but it's only for the low speed for the internet, so you cannot stream on it. Of course, you can stream radio forever. But not video. Definitely not. Oh, some schools are sending the students to the park. Nice day. Anyway, I'm going to shut down now. Thank you for joining, and have a nice future Wednesday. Keep warm and take care. All right, scoping down. Bye, everyone.